Hey, fourth graders. Today we are going to be starting to talk about division, but we're going to be talking about something called longer division, okay? Or long division. And they start us out kind of slow. We will not always be using the math workbook or the homework and remembering every day. We will be doing some sheets where we're going to take it really slow because I want you guys to understand it. And I met with the fourth grade teachers, and we're going to be doing it just like they're doing it at school. So we won't be using these two books. There might be a sheet that you need to go put in Notability at some point. Today we are going to be in the workbook, okay? So there's going to be Mrs. Hagen doing some talking and then you doing some writing along with me for today. All right, so let's look up at the top. We've got some division vocab. Okay, and then they give us a little model or a picture to help us. It says, although multiplication and division are inverse operations, each operation has its own language. So they're kind of like opposites of each other. Okay, and you know just from what you've learned so far that multiplication and division are similar, aren't they? So we're going to talk about multiplication first, which is this area right here, okay? So we have our numbers that are in our problem. So in this one, we have 3 times 4. Those are our factors, okay? Sorry about that music. 3 times 4 equals 12. So the numbers are my factors, and the answer is the product. And we did talk about product last year too, so those should be still pretty familiar. And then the factor as well. And then over here, look what's happening, okay? We have a division problem. We still have our product, but our product is underneath the house. You see how that goes up? When it goes like this, we call the number that's under here, it's under the house. So the product is under the house. You still see your factors, but they're on top. Do you see that? You still have 3 and 4, but they're on the top. Now, over here, I'm going to go to my division words. Okay, you're also seeing these words up in this box. My division words, the names are going to be a little bit different. So the number outside of the house is called the divisor. The answer, or the number on top, the 3, is called the quotient. And the number in the house or underneath the house is called the dividend. They just want you to be familiar with those words. Okay, you're not going to memorize them right away, and that's okay. All right, let's go down to this section. The models for multiplication and division are the same models. So we've talked a lot about array. Remember where we would write our number over here and we'd write our number on top and we'd times those, wouldn't we? Okay, so they have a little example down here. I have 12 bottles on the table, so they drew an array of that. Now I'm going to take 12, divide it by 3. Okay, and can you do that one before Mrs. Hagen does it? 12 divided by 3. Did you say 4? Hopefully. And then you can see how these two problems are related. I'm using the same numbers. It's like a fact family. Except now, look what's missing. 3 times blank equals 4. I'm using the same numbers that I did in this problem, but they're mixed around. So 3 times something equals 4. I bet you said 4, didn't you? Okay. So notice that I'm using the same numbers. Okay, now let's change it to rows and columns. Okay, it's not an array, it's rows and columns. I have 12 tiles on a wall. If I take all 12 tiles and divide by 3, can you do that one? 12 divided by 3. Hopefully you're noticing it's the same as we did it with the array. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. And just like over here, 3 times 4 equals 12. Okay, I'm getting the same. All of these we're getting the same answers. Okay, it's just doing it a different way. All right, and last one is an area model. Okay, where we did a lot of area last year, so hopefully you remember. we times our corners, do you remember? And then we would get the area. So, which was, in this case, is 12. So I have 12 square feet of carpet. I take 12 divided by 3 equals 4. And 3 times 4 equals 12. I could also put my 4 up here. All right, so just different ways to look at it. There's different models for the multiplication and division. Now, kind of the new thing right now is we're going to be talking about remainders. Okay, sometimes when you divide, some are left over. The leftover amount is called the remainder. Think about your leftovers, though that's your remainder. They're going to give us an example now. If you have 14 juice boxes arranged in groups of 3, how many juice boxes will be left over? Well, let's look at this nice picture that they drew, okay? So I have 3 rows of 4. See that? 4, 4, 4. You should be doing this with me. And then I have 2 that are left over, also called my remainder, right? I'm going to put a 2 down here. I have 2 of those. Now, I can see it says how many juice boxes will be left over. Well, when they drew the picture, it was very easy to see how many were left over, okay? But the way that we're going to be starting to do it is this way, right here. We're going to put our 14 under the house. We're going to put our 3 over here, and then Mrs. Higgins is going to show you how to do that, okay? So we have 14 under the house, 3 here, and I'm not going to explain it on this page because there's not enough room, but Mrs. Higgins is going to show you how to do this, and you can see that their answer was 4 remainder 2, okay? Just want you to kind of look at this right now. We're not going to jump in until we get to the next page, okay? I'm not going to talk about this stuff yet, okay? And so I would like you to meet me on page 138 so we can start digging into this, okay? So go ahead and meet me there. All right, guys, so we're going to start out slow. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what I wrote at the top of your paper. You can see that I moved down. We're going to work on number 4, but I want you to write what I wrote above here, and I want to talk about that. There's like a little trick that they learn in 4th grade to remember the steps for long division, okay? So I want you to look at the purple letters first, and there's a little secret phrase. D is for does, M, McDonald's, S, sell, C, cheese, and B, burger. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? And if you can remember that saying, then you can write out the part that's in the red. D for divide, M for multiply, S for subtract, C for check, and B for bring down. So I need you to write these little symbols with the letters at the top because it's going to help us remember the steps for long division. So go ahead and take a minute to do that. If you need to pause the video, maybe you already have it written down. Otherwise, take a minute. All right, here we go. So we have our first problem, and it says 27 is under the house, 27 divided by 6. So here's our first step. Okay, we're going to say, how many times can 6 fit into 2? Can 6 fit into 2? It can't, can it? So I'm going to put an X up here because 6 cannot fit into 2. Now you're going to say, can 6 fit into 27? Well, you have to think about your times table and counting by 6s. How many 6s can I fit into 27 without going over? Okay, so I'm going to go over to the side here. You could use your times table to look at your 6s, but I'm going to write them down. I have 6, 12, 18, 24, there we go, sorry about that, 24. Okay, I'm getting close, right? If I go to the next one, it's 30, and that's too big, isn't it? Okay, so 24 is, you don't want to go over the number that you have there. Okay, so how many sixes was that? That was 1, 2, 3, 4 sixes. So I'm going to go ahead and write my 4 up here. Okay, so I figured out that I have 4 sixes that can fit into 27. So now I'm on the second step, which is times. I'm going to take 6 times 4, look at your chart, 6 times 4 is 24, and that's going to be my number now that I'm on the S step up here. I'm going to subtract. So 27, take away 24, 7 minus 4, 3, 2, take away 2, 0. Okay, so I ended up with 3. So now my next step is check. Check means, can I fit 6 into 3? I can't, so I'm done. And then I don't even have to do the B step with bringing down yet. So I'm going to say remainder, R for remainder, and 3. That was my leftovers or my remainder. Okay? So my final answer is 4 remainder 3. All right, we're going to do another one together. Here we go. I have 30 divided by 4. First thing I'm going to do is divide. I'm going to figure out how many 4s I can fit into 30. Okay, you can look at your chart and look at your row of 4s, but I'm going to go ahead and write them down. I have 4, 8, 12, 16. Remember, I can't go over 30. 20, 24, 28. Ooh, I'm getting pretty close. If I go one more, that's 32. That's too big. So I need to stop at 28 because I'm trying to stay under 30, right? So now I'm going to, 28 looks like it's going to fit, isn't it? So I'm going to go ahead and say, how many 4s was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to put an X here, and I'm going to say 7. Because I did 7 4s, now I'm going to times 7 times 4 equals 28. Then I'm ready for my S step or my subtract step. Can I do 0 take away 8? Nope, I need to borrow, just like when we're, and that changes to a 2, this changes to a 10. 10 take away 8 is 2. And my next step is 2 take away 2 is 0. So then I'm checking to see, can 4 go into 2 again? Can we fit 4 into 2? No, we can't. So that was our check. And we don't have any other numbers to bring down yet. Okay, so then we know that our final answer is 7 remainder 2, because our remainder is our leftovers, which are down here. Okay. It's going to get easier too, guys. We aren't doing such big numbers right now, so we're not really using the B step yet. When we get to bigger numbers under the house, then we're going to be bringing down numbers. So for right now, you're pretty much using divide, multiply, subtract, and then check. All right. So let's look at the next one that they did for us, right? So they checked and they said, they divide first. They say, can 7 go into 3? No. You can see that they didn't put an X there. I like to do that. Then I say, does 7 go into 39? So hopefully maybe they did their 7s and they put them over here. 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35. Remember, you can look at your 7s on your times table as well. Now, I don't want to go to the next one, would be 40. That's too big, isn't it? Because I can't go past 39. So I'm going to say 35 is my one that's going to fit. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So they put their 5 here. Okay, then they subtracted. They took 7 times 5 and subtracted. 9 take away 5 is 4. And there's no other numbers to bring down. This is their remainder, so their final answer is 5 remainder 4. Okay, let's It's gonna get easier, guys, I promise. So we are not going to do these today. Today is kind of like a talking day, and we're just trying to figure out a little bit more what we're up to here, okay, so that you guys can fly on your own. All right, let's look at number 10. My first step is divide, and I say, can I fit 5 into 3? No, I cannot. You're doing these along with me. Can I fit 5 into 32? Absolutely I can. So I'm going to count by 5s over here. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Oh, too big. So 30 was my magic number, okay, because I can't use 35. So let's count and see how many 5s that was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 is my number on top, right? Now I'm going to do my second step, which is times. So I'm going to take 6 times 5. What is 6 times 5? It's over here on my little chart on the side here. 6 times 5 is 30. Then I'm on my third step, which is subtract. 2 take away 0 is 2, and 3 take away 3 is 0. And then I check. Can I fit 5 into 2? I cannot. So I know that I am done. And so my final answer, this is my remainder, remember, my final answer is 6 remainder 2. And the more that you do them with me, guys, the better and the easier it's going to be for you. And that's why at the beginning we have to do a lot together, okay? All right, let's look at number 11. I have 21 divided by 4. So how many 4s can I fit into 2? I can't fit any 4s into 2, can I? So I'm going to put an X there. Now it says, how many 4s can I fit into 21? Well, let's count by 4s and see. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. Oop, 24 is too big. So my answer is 20, right? So let's figure out that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's my number on top is 5. And that was, now I'm going to subtract 20 because 4 times 5 is 20. 1 take away 0 is 1. And 2 take away 2 is 0. So I check and I go, can I fit 4 into 1? No, I cannot. So then I know that I'm done. And my remainder is 1. Okay, just hoping that a little bit sinks in today, and we're going to continue to do these together. That's one of the reasons we're not using the workbook as much, because they go a little bit too fast in there and they do bigger numbers right away, and we want to start you out slow. Okay, all right, so for today, I would like it if you would try to do number 12. That's going to be your homework. Okay, one problem, right? Nice. So do that one problem. Right away you're going to say, can I fit 3 into 2? No, I can't. Can I fit 3 into 22? So I'm going to start counting by 3s over here and see. So figure that out. And then remember your little acronym. Does McDonald's sell cheeseburgers? Right? Just kind of start to think about that. Divide, multiply, subtract, check. We haven't used the bring down too much yet, but we will be in the next couple days when there's bigger numbers under the house. So your job for today is to finish up number 12, and then obviously you're going to submit and show me that you did all the ones with me together. Okay? Have a great day, guys.